Hi friend, my name is Azura and welcome back to my world. So today's video is something a little bit different. It was supposed to go up last week, but I had some difficulties, not technical. My camera's fine, batteries are fine. Recording setup is still temporary, but it's fine. I was actually, the day that I was supposed to edit and have a video up, which was Saturday. Usually my Saturdays are very hectic because I work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but I didn't work last week because my lady days decided to grace me with their presence. So yeah, I also had a Six Flags trip that I had to go to with my family for my sister-in-law's 13th birthday. So I was out with the family Saturday, and then Sunday I just needed a recovery day, girl. Like, I could not get myself up. Like, I took such a long nap that day, and I don't regret it one bit. Not one bit, because I needed it. My body was so fatigued. I was so tired, and I was having a little bit of crampy poos, so I was not about to overextend myself. So I decided to just take the L, charge it, and get it done this week. So here we are. Like I said, this will be my get to know me tag. Can't find my notebook to save my life that I had all my notes and stuff on, so I'm just gonna have to go off the top of my head. But I mean, how hard could it be? I'm telling you about myself, so we should be fine. I think I just found it. Hold on. Look at God while he do it. Amen. So, have my handy dandy notebook with all my notes. Even though I don't need notes to talk about myself, girl, like, I structured it because I know that I can ramble and I could literally talk forever. So in order to prevent that from happening and prevent like a disorganized video, I'm going to utilize my notes because, I mean, who cares? Some of these things I did briefly touch on in my life update video, if I'm not mistaken, which will be right up here. You'll see it. It's a card. It'll flash on the top of the screen. You click on it if you want. If not, cool. I don't mind, girl. So with this video, I think I want to do something a little bit different and start off with my school and my career plans. So right now, I am currently in school for paralegal studies. I will be getting my, I don't know if that's an AA or an AS, Associate of Science. I don't remember. It's one of the two. But I am going through that program. I should be graduating. If not, I don't think it'll go into 2026, to be mistaken. Because I'm going to take summer classes. Then I'm going to take fall classes, then I'm going to take winter, and then spring, and then summer again if I have to. But yeah, like, basically within the year I should be done. I'm going to take the money that I get from being a paralegal and I'm going to put myself through cosmetology and barbering school. I really want to learn how to do everything because I've always had an interest in hair because I grew up going to the salon every 2 weeks. I was a very pampered, spoiled child, and I've always, like, you always see like the memes where it's like if you had that Barbie head that came with like the curling iron, the straightening iron, the barrettes, the clips, all that stuff. You always see the memes as like if you played with these as a young girl, then you're a cosmetologist now. And I feel like that is so me because I've always had like those types of dolls, or like I've always been playing with my Bratz dolls because I wasn't a Barbie girl. I was a Bratz girl. Bratz girls do it better. I don't care. Argue with your mammy. I just always remember playing in their hair. Like, I used to always get them right in my eyes every time. I was originally pre-law, like I started right out of high school, but I think that's the biggest mistake that I made was not taking that gap year because I just genuinely think that I needed a break. Because the way my parents raised us, they were very, very, very heavy on education, and I really do appreciate that. But when it came to extracurriculars, it was literally a rule in my house by my mom. You need to be involved in extracurriculars, whether that's at school, sports, church, whatever. So I was involved in literally all three. I was doing extracurriculars at school. I was in orchestra from age 8. That's when I started playing the violin, and then all the way until my senior year, I was playing the violin. I learned the bass as well. I learned that in like 2 weeks. But it's not a hard instrument because it's nothing but the violin backwards. I actually tend to like the bass more than the violin in some pieces. But the violin will always be my first love because that is through that is when I fell in love with music. And then I was involved through the church. I was doing choir groups from a very young age. I believe I was not four. I believe I was in 4th or 5th grade. So I had to have been 8 or 9 when I started that. So I started singing very young as well. And that, you know, kind of went along with violin because both things were very heavily reliant on rhythm. And I used to struggle with my rhythm when I was very young. But, you know, violin whipped me right into shape because you can't be offbeat and play the violin. You just can't. Further after that, I want to say, no, I think I started soccer before. Whatever. I also played soccer. I was a soccer player from like age 7 or so, or something like that, 7 or 8. One of those from age 7 or 8 all the way until I was 19 years old. Soccer, I've always loved soccer. Like, I'm the one who introduced my family into soccer, my immediate family. I'm actually the first, I think I'm in the first Hayes to start playing soccer, if I'm not mistaken. And then my sister, she did other sports, but she ended up, you know, steering into soccer as well. And then my younger brother, he started playing soccer when he was very young too. I think if I'm not mistaken, either 6 or 7, around there. But yeah, I was a soccer player, girl. Well, once a soccer player, always a soccer player. So I'm never gonna say was. But yeah, that's just about a bit of my early school life and my career. Now let's get into my hobbies. We hear about my career and things like that, but let's get into my hobby. Photography is my first and main hobby. I've been a photographer. I got my first serious camera when I was about 13 years old. That's when I started, I guess, taking it seriously, but I've always had the knack behind the camera and behind the scenes and things like that. Yeah, there's really not much to say on there. I still do it now. I just do it more professionally now. If you want to shoot done and you're based in LA or the IE or even OC, hit your girl up. I'd be more than happy to assist you and service you in all your photography/videography needs. I enjoy it so much, and I'm completely self-taught. Everything I know, everything that I do, all of my work, it is self-taught. In the future, would I want to take maybe a few photography classes? Absolutely, because I feel like there's no time where you're ever done learning in a career field or just in life in general. So I think I might take, you know, a photography class or two, you know, just for fun. It was my first hobby where I felt like I could just express myself in any way that I felt. And it was the first hobby that I never felt like I was doing it wrong. I never felt like that pressure to like, oh, this isn't good enough, this isn't good enough. This is the first time I've ever felt that way when it's something that I wanted to do. And that's why I think I fell so in love with it, because I just felt like I could just express myself creatively without feeling that weird pressure. Like, if you're an artist or you're creative in general, you know what I'm talking about. You know that pressure, you know that feeling. Like, and that's the first time I never ever got it. So that's how I know I was gonna stick with it. Me and photography, we're locked in. 4L, for life. We are 4 lifers, me and photography, to the day I die. Another hobby, my second hobby, literally YouTube. Like, y'all don't see it, but I have been on and off with YouTube, believe it or not, since I was 16 years old. I used to record off my phone, I used to edit on my phone, I used to upload on my phone, I used to do all of that. And then one day, one fateful day in Azura land, my mother on some, I'm gonna be so real, it was on some hater shit. I don't care. It was on some hater shit. She went into my phone and deleted my channel. And I was like, I got my phone back after having my phone taken away, and all my videos were gone. Mind you, I was pulling in some decent views too. Like, and that, it was like, I was very expressive. I was telling my stories, essentially doing the stuff that I'm doing now, just on an iPhone SE, like the very first iPhone SE, I believe. That's when I got that phone. Yeah. And she just deleted it all, and it was on some hater shit. Like, it was, because I wasn't doing anything bad. My comments were, I don't even think I don't know if YouTube had come out with the safeguards that they have now for minors on YouTube, where they automatically disable the comment section if they're under 18. I don't remember if they had that feature or not when I was doing it. But yeah, every single time I would try to do like YouTube, like I would end up getting my phone taken away and getting my channel deleted, and it really stunted my creativity and like my motivation to be creative, because all my work just kept going down the drain. And I was trying to tell her, like, it's not like, I'm not an idiot. Like, I grew up with the advancement of the internet because I was an early 2000 baby. I was born in 2000. Like, I saw the progression of the internet. Like, it started only a few years before I was born. So when it came to internet safety and like schools teaching you about internet safety and predators on the internet and not putting your, business out there, I was learning about that. So it's not like I was some stupid kid telling you exactly where I lived at, exactly, my full government name. Like, I wasn't doing all that. And I just was trying to tell her, like, Mom, it's a creative outlet. Like, it's not that serious. Okay, like, relax, homegirl. Relax. But she wasn't having it. She was very heavy on, I'm the mom, and, blah, 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 blah. It's like, okay, girl, you're the mom. You have all the power. Do what you gotta do, I guess. So I kind of stopped until my dad bought me my second serious camera. It was like a Canon PowerShot. I don't even know if it qualified as a DSLR camera yet. I don't think it did, because it just came with one lens. It was very much like the camera I'm on now, where it wasn't as compact, but it only had one lens. It didn't have any detachment. You couldn't detach the lens and things like that. So I started again. I think I was 18 or 19 years old when I started that. But then that's the most recent time. Like, that camera is when I started YouTube again. So a few years later. And then that's when my life took like a very, my life was launched downhill around that time. So I ended up privating all those videos again, because I knew that it would be a long time before I could publish videos again comfortably and things like that. So I kind of stopped there. And then I had gotten my G7X. I think that was a birthday present, I'm sure, or like a Christmas present, something like that. Like, it was either Christmas or it was my birthday or something like that. I got that camera, and that's when I started YouTube again. And then I just went through this phase of my life where I wasn't confident in the content that I was putting out. I just wasn't. So I decided to private all of them again. And then I got this camera, my Sony ZV-1F or something like that, or F1, whatever. And then I was just like, okay, I'm gonna do this for real, and I'm gonna do this the right way. And I'm finally in a place where I can do this myself. It's just been like moving from place to place, and things are going on in each place. Is like the first place I moved into after I was put out my parents' house. It wasn't like unsafe. It was just unsafe emotionally, and like the people that we were living with were just disrespectful people. That's gonna be a story time, so I'm not gonna go into too much detail for that. And then the place after that, it was a terrible apartment complex situation. Like, it wasn't even the complex itself, it was the managers and the management. That will be a story time as well, that I literally have semi-planned. I literally have that story time semi-planned, so you'll see that. And then after that, it was this place that we're in now. So I'm in a lot better. My landlords are literally my in-laws. That's all I'm gonna say, is that it's a lot easier, it's a lot more easygoing, it's a lot more of a emotionally stable place as well as a physically stable place, things like that. So yeah, that's why the hobby of YouTube, like, as much as I loved doing it, I was not in a place where I could dedicate enough time or energy to it, or the amount of time and energy that I knew I wanted to put into it. Now I'm in that space. The ultimate goal of my channel isn't subscribers, it's not numbers, it's not views, it's not likes. I could not care less. All I care about on this channel is being able to provide a safe space for our little community to escape when life is becoming too much, because I know that's what I need sometimes. It's like just that comfort channel. So that's what I want to be. I just want to be a safe space, a calm space, to make you laugh, to make you think, to have conversations together, and just to escape from life for just a little bit, 3 times a week. That's all I want to do. My third hobby is me being a multimedia artist. If you didn't know already, I do have an art page, Art by Azura. I'm currently locked out of that page right now. I have no idea when I will gain access to that page again, But that is my art page. I do anything from acrylic pours, I sketch, I draw, I create digital art via Procreate, but my iPad's broken again. But I've been an artist for as long as I can remember. Quite literally since I could read and write and draw. Since I could write my name on a piece of paper, that's how long I've been an artist. My grandparents literally have pieces that I've done when I was like 3, 4, 5, 6 years old. And actually the first person who taught me how to sign and date all of my artistic works was my grandfather. We were sitting down. I remember this day. I was very little. I had to have been about 4 or 5, but I remember. It's blurry, but I remember. We would always just sit down and draw, or he would give me like those TV trays, and he would give me paper and like crayons or a pencil or whatever, and I would just go at it for hours in front of the TV or hours outside with him while he was working in his garage. And he actually came over one day and he was like, always sign and always date your work, so when you look back at it, you know when you did it, so you know you can track your progress, you can see yourself getting better. And from that day forward, I always signed and dated my pieces, no matter what. No matter if I thought it was good, no matter if I thought it was good, or no matter if I thought it was good, no matter if I thought it was bad. And he never let me throw things that I did not like away. And it's so freaking crazy. It's so crazy how now my man does the same thing. Like, there are times where I've absolutely hated something that I made, and he would not let me throw it away. He would not let me throw it away. He was like, absolutely not. I will buy it off you if I have to, but you're not throwing it away. And I never understood why they were so adamant on this, but now at 23, I'm kind of looking back at it, and I'm kind of glad I didn't throw some of these things away, because I can track my progress. I can see myself getting better, and that helps my motivation. So I don't throw myself away anymore. But I was definitely got on, like they were getting on my ass for a minute. But now they don't have to, because I don't throw myself away. I've pretty much always been a writer. I always took writing very seriously in school. I looked very forward to the free writes, the quick writes, where you gave like, you know, 60 seconds, 120 seconds. The teacher set a timer and you just wrote whatever was on your mind. I really always recall enjoying those so much. I was always complimented on my writing in school by my English teachers, and it was just something that I always remember being good at, and always feeling the weight of the world leave my shoulders when I was doing it. And that's how I know that it's something that I truly did enjoy. There is one specific time when I was in high school. I don't remember, was I a senior? I don't quite remember if I couldn't have been a junior. I truly don't remember what year I was. I think it was either junior year or senior year. But I had this English teacher. Her name was Mrs. Shanero. And she, to this day, was one of my favorite teachers. She was one of those teachers that you could go to her class for refuge at lunch when you didn't feel like being amongst the general population, if you will. But I remember being in her class, and it was like it was like spooky time. I don't remember if it was fall or winter, but I remember we did a quick write or something of the sort, and where you had, you know, complete creative control in what you were writing about. And I remember submitting a piece to her, and the comments that I received, I just remember it was a spooky piece. Like, it was like horror based or psychological thriller or something along those lines that I wrote, because I enjoy writing specifically those genres. I just remember the feedback that I got from her. It was so positive, and it was so like along the lines of, this like scared me, or like this gave me goosebumps. And I was like, I felt so validated, and I felt so proud of myself. And I was like, man, maybe I am like a good writer, you know? Like, it was just one of those moments as an artist where you sit back and it's like, you know that your work is good, but like sometimes as an artist, like, you have doubts sometimes. And it was just one of those times where I was just like, damn, maybe I am doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Last hobby that I have is fashion and design. I've always been labeled a fashionista in my family. Whether it was my grandparents on both sides, whether it was my parents, I was always labeled a fashionista. I was always, you know, what was in, what was out. I used to have collages that I would cut out of magazines of outfits that I was putting together. Even my dad, like when he would go get new work stuff and like work gear, like suit jackets or dress shirts or shoes for the office and things like that, he would always take me with him, and he would just tell me, like, ask me like what looks good, and I would literally like lightweight style him. I would always do this stuff. So I think I do get my fashion sense and like love for fashion from my mom and my mom's side of the family, because they're more into that type of thing, and I'm just closer to that side of the family. So yeah, I think when it comes to things like that, I definitely like get it from her side, because my cousins, my aunties, even my grandmother, like they be stepping. You hear me? They step when it comes to fashion and things like that. So of course I'm gonna follow suit. So now that I told you a bit about like my hobbies, you know, where I come from, what I'm doing, education wise, I want to get into more of like my family life and things like that. I am the eldest daughter out of 3 kids. I have my youngest sibling is my brother, and then my middle sibling, my second sibling, is my sister. We will be having a sibling channel coming soon. I'm literally working on the creative aspect of it now, like the banner, the photo, things like that. We do have one vlog that I have to edit. I love my siblings. Even when I'm over, we all congregate to one of the rooms, whether it's my old room at my parents' house, my old room at my sister's house, or my brother's room. We all congregate into one area and we just chill and we talk and we laugh, and we can go on for hours. But yes, I am a sister of 2 other siblings, and they're literally my best friends. We are the 3 Musketeers, straight up. My family comes from Los Angeles County. My mom is from Inglewood. My dad is from Compton. The first house I came to after I was born was my grandmother's house in Inglewood, and from there I spent, I believe, like 3 years or something like that in that house. And then my parents made the lovely decision to move us to the Inland Empire. Never liked that decision. Don't know why they did that. I always tell them we should have stayed in LA. That's something that I've always said. And every weekend, from the time we moved out of my grandmother's house to the time I was like 18 years old. Well, I can't even say that, because damn near I was still doing the same thing at 18. But I was going over to my grandparents' house every single weekend from the time that we moved out to the time I was about 19 years old. Every spring break, every summer break, every Christmas break, every Thanksgiving break, every ounce of spare time we had was spent in Inglewood. That's why I say I'm from Inglewood, because I spent more time there growing up than I did in my parents' own house. All the holidays were done there for the most part. That's just, and culturally speaking, I identify more with what's out there versus what's out in the Inland Empire. I never felt like I fit in here, because like all my family and like people that I actually could consider friends and stuff like that were out there. Like I don't really have much out here. I have my select few friends out here just through school and things like that. But other than that, like I don't care to be out here at all. Take me back home. Take me back home, child. I don't like being out here. That's just where I feel the most at home, specifically Inglewood, and that's where I feel like I fit in the best and I feel the most love out there. I always say I'm like a 5 out here and a 10 out there. That's how I've always felt anyway. So, but eventually I want to end up in the Bay Area. I've always loved the Bay Area. We used to go up every year at some point, usually to celebrate Thanksgiving. We'd be up there for a few days and then come home and then go right to my nana's house. But that's where we would go every year. We made sure to take a trip out there. When I was 16, I stayed, you know, a week or so out there by myself with my aunt and uncle that live up there. And I've always loved it. Culturally, artistically, the art scene out there has always amazed and fascinated me ever since I was young. And I just love the energy out there. I've always been obsessed with the Bay Area, specifically Oakland. I've always loved me some Oakland, and I'll always love me some Oakland. Oakland has a special place in my heart. It sure does, and it always will. And I can't wait to go back, quite frankly, very soon. I'll be going back soon. Background-wise, that's where I come from. Am I missing anything? Oh yeah, if you watch my life update, you know this part already. Currently I am engaged, soon to be married, this time next year, literally this month next year. I hope and pray to be married if everything goes according to plan. To my lovely fiance. I love him so much with my whole heart. We've been together for 5 years now. We just hit 5 years last month in February. I can't wait to get married. It's so weird saying that, and I already know it's gonna be so weird saying that I'm a wife. But yeah, I'm getting married next year. I'll be a married woman. I'll be a Mrs. But yeah, girl, like that's enough about me. Like I feel like talking about myself for a whole video, it feels so weird. You know me now. Like we here now, cause you know me. I'm not a stranger no more on the internet. Now y'all know. So happy that you clicked. So happy that you stayed. If you did manage to stay until the end and I did not bore you, leave a blue emoji down below. And I hope and I pray to see you guys the next time. The next time you see me, it'll most likely be a story time. And yeah, I hope to see you guys then. And I love you so much. Thank you for stopping by.